Welcome back to the Deep Dive. For weeks now, we have been on this absolutely frantic chase. We've been following Rand, Matt, and Perrin on a terrifying flight from the forces of the Shadow. I mean, they started as just, village kids running from Trollocs. They barely knew what a Murdrell was.
But that's over now. The chase is over. If the beginning of this journey was a local problem, a flight for survival, these final chapters are something else entirely.
Oh, yeah.
From Feldara through the Eye of the World, this is the moment the story just rips wide open. We suddenly see the true cosmic scale of this whole conflict.
The stakes just go through the roof.
Completely. From survival to a direct confrontation with near mythological figures.
Exactly. And that's our goal for this deep dive. We're going to take this incredibly dense section of the source material and just unpack the absolute core of the mythology. We're talking about the identity of the Forsaken.
And not just as monsters from stories, as real present threats.
Right. And the secret purpose of the Eye of the World, and of course the big one, the shattering, undeniable truth about who Rand al'Thor really is.
This is where it all snaps into focus for you, the listener. We're going to synthesize the densest parts of the lore, these echoes from the Age of Legends, with the highest stakes action, and our goal is to make sure you understand not just what happens in the Blight, but the profound, terrifying implications it has for the entire world.
Okay, so let's set the scene here. Our last time with the group, they were in a really bad way. They were fleeing through the ways.
And we have to remember how horrible the ways have become. This isn't just a spooky shortcut.
Right.
It was an escape that was, it was bordering on sheer terror. The way, they were once this incredible tool built by the Ogier for instantaneous travel, and now they're just this dying labyrinth.
And Lon, who's supposed to be the most stoic, unbreakable guy, he was visibly strained.
He was pushing them so hard because the air itself, the very substance of the place, was dangerous. The source material describes the stone of the bridges as pitted and broken, and it's not natural decay, it feels like malice.
It's like the Dark One's influence is a physical rot. It's not just broken stone, it's broken magic. The whole structure is failing.
Precisely. They're being chased by Trollocs and Fades through this landscape of actively dying magic. And the darkness there, it's not just an absence of light. You get the sense it's this oppressive, heavy presence.
So the Waygate at the end is this symbol of pure last-second desperation.
Oh, completely. Lon basically sacrifices the horses, driving them through that portal just to get them out into the sunlight. They arrive battered, exhausted, and covered in this dust of corruption.
And where do they land? Straight into the Borderlands, a region that exists for one reason.
To hold back the Shadow, they ride directly into Feldara, a city that is quite literally a wall against the storm.
Feldara, one of the last great Borderland fortresses.
And they're met by Lord Agelmar of House Jagad. His personal sign, the 3 running red foxes, it feels noble, but it also signals that he's a man who is consumed by a very immediate, very physical military threat.
Right. And you see that in how he talks to Moiraine and Lon. He treats them with this immense respect, which tells you how important Aes Sedai are up here. But his mind is completely on Tarwin's Gap.
He's a general preparing for a conventional war. He sees a battlefield, a choke point where he expects the Trolloc armies to pour through.
He even recognizes Lon, right? Calls him the Daishan.
He does, the uncrowned king of the Malkieri. It's actually a pretty moving moment. Agelmar begs them to stay to help him bolster the defense. He says 1,000 men will come when they hear the golden crane flies once more. It's his appeal to ancient duty.
But Moiraine just shuts it down. She typically says his war is secondary.
She completely reframes the entire conflict. She tells him that while he has to fight his battle at the Gap, their battle, the true battle with the Dark One, isn't there at all.
It's at the Eye of the World.
In the deepest, most corrupted part of the Blight. And in that moment, we realize the real goal isn't just stopping an invasion. It's about preventing the Dark One's full escape. They have to get to the Eye, even if it means walking away from this immediate, bloody war.
Okay, so this is where the lore stops being, abstract history and becomes incredibly personal and just shockingly dark. Before they even get to the Eye, Rand starts having these visions, memories.
It's deliberately unclear, but through them, we are given this foundation for the entire history of their world, the Age of Legends and the Breaking.
And it starts with this vision of Luz, Thair, and Telamon.
Yes. A devastating, completely unfiltered look into the past. We see Lews Therin, the original dragon, who was first among the servants who wore the Ring of Tamerlane. But when Rand sees him, he's standing in this ruined hall, already completely, utterly lost to the madness from the taint on Saidin.
And the source material is just brutal about what that madness made him do.
It doesn't pull any punches. This is the act that earned him the name Kinslayer. He murdered his entire family. And his children. The description is just... it's horrifying. They're sprawled like broken dolls, placed stilled forever. That detail is so crucial because it establishes the central cosmic irony of the entire story. The world's designated savior is defined by the most devastating crime imaginable.
The ultimate hero is linked forever to the ultimate act of madness.
And the destruction didn't end with his family. His grief and his madness, they broke the world.
It just unleashes all this power.
He's driven by this tormented grief and the awful compulsion of the taint. He reaches for Saidin, the male half of the true source, which is corrupted, and he just draws in more than any single person could possibly contain.
And that's what causes the breaking.
It culminates in this apocalyptic burst of power. The source says, the air turned to fire, the fire to light liquefied. This raw power strikes from the sky and bored into the bowels of the earth.
Wow. So that one single act of uncontrolled, grief-fueled power is what boiled the seas and raised mountains. It literally fractured continents.
It created the world they now live in. He was trying to fight the shadow, but in his madness, he became the agent of the world's near destruction. And this vision is so important because it confirms for Rand what his future holds.
Yeah, it's not a legacy of heroism. It's a legacy of inevitable madness and the destruction of everyone you love.
It's a terrifying inheritance.
And standing there watching this all unfold, taunting him, is the man in black.
Elan Morien, later known as Ishamael, one of the original Dreadlords. His presence there just confirms the depth of his evil, but it also sets the stage for who the real enemies of this age are.
The Forsaken.
Yes, and we need to be clear about who they are. They're not just some generic Dark Lords. They were 13 of the most powerful Aes Sedai, male and female, from the Age of Legends.
And they went over to the Shadow.
For the promise of immortality. They chose to step outside the cycle of rebirth, to serve the Great Lord of the Dark for eternal life and power. Their mere existence is enough to shift the balance of the entire world.
But everyone in the current age, I mean, even the White Tower, thinks they're all safely locked away.
They're supposed to be bound in the prison at Sheol Ghul. Their names are just, cautionary tales now. Stories to frighten children.
But Rand's dreams, his confrontations with Balthamel, they suggest that whole history is just wrong.
This is a critical point we have to analyze. The figure in his dreams, Balthamel, taunts him over and over again. He says he was never bound in Sheol Ghul.
He claims he was always free.
Always free, standing with the Dark One, constantly pursuing the dragon's soul through all its reincarnations.
Okay, wait. So, if the Forsaken are supposed to be bound, and Balthamel, who we're all pretty sure is Ishamael, one of the strongest of them, if he's been free this entire time, what does that do to Moraine's whole plan?
It shatters it.
Is she operating on 3,000 years of bad intelligence from the White Tower?
That's the terrifying question, isn't it? If Ishamael has been walking the world, maybe cycling in and out of power, maybe even maintaining some subtle, continuous influence, it means the Dark One has had his top champion active for 3 millennia.
Not just recently released.
Exactly. It means the history the entire world relies on is either incomplete or maybe even a deliberate lie. It changes the entire game. The enemy has been on the board the whole time and they never even knew it.
So the fight isn't about a future prophecy. It's the climax of an ongoing persecution that started at the breaking.
And it makes the coming confrontation at the Eye of the World just exponentially more terrifying. The ultimate enemy is already here.
So after carrying that immense weight of history and his own potential future, the group finally enters the Blight. And we really need to talk about this place. It's not just a location, it's an active thing.
It is truly grotesque. The Blight is the physical manifestation of the Shadow's corruption. The source describes everything as rotten and diseased. The ground is spongy and corrupt.
And Len is just forcing this brutal pace.
Because the psychological toll of just being there is overwhelming, and the danger isn't passive. It's not just a wasteland, it's actively hostile.
Right.
Lan warns them about things that hunt by sound. They've already dealt with the trees that literally try to grab them, but then they see this huge corrupted lake.
And the worm.
This monstrous worm creature writhes out of the water. It raises these fat tentacles at least 5 stands into the air before it disappears again. The whole landscape is designed to consume life.
But in the absolute heart of all that decay, they find the opposite. This pure pocket of life.
Guarded by a figure of pure legend, the Green Man.
He's just an incredible creation.
A marvel. He's bigger than loyal Leogia, a man's shape made of woven vines and leaves with hair of flowing grass. He is the last remnant of Mawful Dadaranel.
The tree of life.
And his very existence, this thriving, living flora, is just this spectacular contrast to the decay all around him. He's the last sentinel of creation itself, standing in the heart of its corruption.
And Moiraine says his being there means something.
Yes, she says he appears where he is needed, which implies that it's the confluence of the three Tavern, Rand, Mat, and Perrin that finally drew them there, that triggered his appearance. It suggests they are fulfilling an ancient necessity of the pattern.
But that moment of awe is just shattered.
Immediately, by the arrival of two of the Forsaken, in the flesh.
Agino and Balthamel.
And their appearance tells a story. Agino is withered and gaunt, physically wasted by the 3,000 years he's been imprisoned. But Balthamel is covered, wearing this dark mask.
Why the mask?
The source implies he literally can't stand the light of day. Their prison was reseated so close to the surface but still in darkness that he's become incredibly sensitive to light.
So the confrontation kicks off immediately, and it's brutal.
And it centers on the Green Man's absolute duty. Balthamel lunges for the eye, and the Green Man just intercepts him. He grabs the Forsaken's head in his hand.
And there's this explosion of power.
Yeah. Flames erupt where Balthamel touches the Green Man. It's a collision of these two primal forces. But the Green Man holds on. He lets out this terrible booming roar, and in that single act of sacrifice, Balthamel is turned completely to ash.
Wow. So this living piece of nature becomes a weapon of pure destruction, just to take down one Forsaken.
And he sacrifices himself to do it. Tells you the price of fighting the shadow is always absolute. The last vestige of the Age of Legends beauty has to commit a kind of suicide by Forsaken to win.
So while that's happening, Moiraine is locked in a battle with Agino. But the real moment of truth, the real shockwave, is about to hit Rand.
Moiraine is losing. You can see it. Her face is white with terror and effort. And Rand, acting on pure protective instinct without any training, he reaches out.
To the true source.
And the description is key. He draws more of the one power than he could channel unaided.
Ah, there it is. That's the phrase. He didn't just channel, he tapped the eye itself.
Exactly. He tapped the reservoir, and the power is described with apocalyptic force, echoing that vision of Luz Theron. The air turns to liquid fire and light, and this raw, incredible power just strikes Agino, and he's gone, burned away, utterly consumed by the light.
And Moiraine immediately understands. She explains what the eye actually was.
Right. It wasn't a weapon, it was a safeguard. A massive reservoir of pure, untainted Saidin created during the Age of Legends, specifically for this moment.
To give the Dragon Reborn a clean, overwhelming burst of power to fight the shadow.
And Rand just used all of it. He not only proved he can channel, he drained the eye completely. He is, without a doubt, the Dragon Reborn.
But the fight isn't really over. It shifts from a physical battle to something else.
A psychological and spiritual war. Balthamel pulls Rand into this semi-real mindscape, and his attack is entirely psychological. He starts planting these seeds of absolute distrust.
He tells Rand, "Mine have always been mine."
But the really damaging attack is against Moiraine in the White Tower. He goes after Rand's parentage, his history. He claims Rand's parents were just pawns, a broodmare and a stallion, used by the Aes Sedai.
And he names other male channelers, other false dragons from history.
Davian, Urien Stonebow, Gwera Malzahn, Logain. He lists them all. He suggests the White Tower has always manipulated powerful men like him, used them, and then destroyed them when the madness came. And he promises Rand the exact same fate.
That's a masterstroke of manipulation. He's using a kernel of truth, the Tower does gentlemen, to completely poison Rand's trust in the only person who can guide him.
It perfectly sets up the central conflict for Rand going forward. His terror of the power itself, and now his terror of the White Tower's control.
But Rand finds a way to fight back. Not with the power, but with his sword.
He consciously points Tam's heron-marked sword at Balthamel's heart, and that physical act manifests as pure light. A shower of fiery sparks shoots from the blade. Balthamel shrieks, withers. The wound is real, even in this other reality.
So the sword itself becomes a conduit for the light.
It solidifies the confrontation. Rand's physical identity, symbolized by his father's sword, becomes a weapon against the shadow, forcing Balthamel to retreat. It's a more potent confirmation of his destiny than any prophecy.
Okay, so the climax is over. The immediate aftermath of all this is, it's the beginning of Rand al'Thor's identity crisis. And it's a trauma we really need to break down. He walks into the Blight as a shepherd from the Two Rivers. He walks out as a man who can wield world-breaking power.
And his first concern isn't, wow, I'm powerful. It's pure existential horror. He knows the fate of male channelers. Madness and then death.
And the only way to fix that is to be stopped by the Aes Sedai. He flat out asks Moiraine if she's going to gentle him.
And we have to pause here and really emphasize what gentling means. The source material doesn't paint it as some clinical procedure to make a man safe.
No, it's horrifying.
It's a spiritual castration, a complete severing from the true source, which is the very core of their being. It leads to this profound loss of self, this stillness. The vast majority of men who are gentle just waste away and die.
It's a death sentence.
But one that's preceded by the agony of knowing your soul has been mutilated. So when Rand asks Moiraine that, he's not asking if she'll save him. He's asking if she's going to sentence him to a fate worse than death.
And Moiraine's reply is gentle, but it's also inescapable.
She confirms it. She tells him he is the dragon reborn, who was, will be, but is not yet. But she tries to soften it by putting it in a cosmic context.
She calls him Ta'veren.
Right. A central point around which the web of destiny, the pattern, is woven. She explains the fabric of existence literally bends around him. All the threads of prophecy lead to him.
So it's not a choice, it's not a talent, it's just inevitable.
He's the centerpiece of the pattern. But that also makes him the most dangerous man alive.
And all the little clues about him not being from the Two Rivers, they all click into place now. Especially the sword, Tam's Heronmark blade, a two-handed weapon with the symbol of a swordmaster. The idea that a simple shepherd would own a weapon of that quality. It always seemed off. Now we know why. The pattern was preparing him long before he ever met Moiraine.
And we can't forget the other two Ta'veren here. Perrin and Mat are dealing with their own versions of this, their own personal horrors.
Right. Each of them is carrying a different flavor of the Shadow's corruption. With Perrin, it's now all but confirmed. He's a wolf brother. Yellow eyes, talking to wolves.
His whole connection to them, it's what made him flee the White Cloaks. And just like Rand's channeling, it's this gift that is also terrifying and isolating. It makes him a target.
And then there's Mat. His problem isn't from the Dark One, is it?
And this is a vital distinction in the lore. Mat has the ruby-hilted dagger from Shadar Logoth. Moiraine identifies it as being tainted by Mashadar,
The evil that consumed that city.
And we have to be clear here. The Dark One's taint on Saidin leads to madness and domination. Mashadar is different. It's a chaotic, consuming plague. It's described as evil against evil, a non-sentient, corrosive hatred that even the shadows forces fear.
So Mat has basically been infected by this other independent evil.
Yes. Moiraine says it fills him with suspicion and hatred so strong that even those closest are seen as enemies. And the only thought left in his head is to kill. He's trapped in this horrible state, and now Moiraine has to figure out how to save him from this unique corruption.
So being Ta'veren isn't a superpower, it's not a blessing.
No, it's a brutal, isolating burden that the pattern has placed on them for the world's survival. Rand has the burden of potential madness, Perrin has the burden of his animal nature separating him from humanity, and Mat has the slow spiritual consumption of this chaotic, ancient evil. Their gifts are their curses.
Okay, so the immediate fight is over. Aginor is vaporized, Balthamel has been pushed back, the Eye is empty. So Moiraine turns her attention to what was being protected by the Eye.
And this is where the political and spiritual consequences of this fight really start to unfold.
What do they find?
Two things of immense, world-shaping importance. First, a chest containing the dragon's banner. Luz Theron Kinslayer's own banner, a hugely potent symbol. But the second discovery is, it's much more terrifying.
The Great Seal.
The broken fragments of one of the 7 seals that were used to bind the Dark One's prison at Sheol Ghul.
It's broken.
It's broken. And that single piece of evidence confirms everything Moiraine has been fighting for and all of her worst fears.
It means the Dark One's prison isn't just weakening, it's actively failing. The Dark One is already touching the world.
Which is why they had to get to the Eye now. It confirms that the last battle isn't some far-off prophecy anymore. It's imminent.
So Moiraine immediately starts planning her next move.
She goes straight to strategy. She plans to send the dragon's banner to the city of Ilion. She believes that raising that ancient symbol will start gathering the forces of the light. The prophecies say that whoever follows that banner will be the one to find and wind the Horn of Valere.
So she's moving from a covert mission to preparing for open war.
She's trying to rally the nations, but there's a huge complication waiting for them back in the dungeons at Faldara.
But Dan Fane.
Shane, the peddler who followed them all the way from the Two Rivers, he was captured by Avelmar's men, and Moiraine confirms his terrifying new state. He isn't just a dark friend anymore.
He's something else.
He is warped by both the Dark One and Mashadar. This is where those two distinct evils intercept in one person.
How does that even work? How can he be corrupted by two opposing evils?
Moiraine speculates that the Dark One, in trying to make Fane into this perfect tractor, impressed some part of himself on the man. But then Fane's time in Shredder Logoth meant Mashadar also consumed a part of him, so he's this walking contradiction, a loyal servant of the Dark One who also carries the chaotic plague that hates the Dark One's order.
That makes him an entirely new kind of threat.
A unique, mutated monster created by the cosmic conflict itself. He's like a living, malignant GPS for the Shadow, but one who is also completely insane and unpredictable. He's a key piece of the mystery that Moiraine now holds captive.
So he's going to be a major problem going forward.
Guaranteed. He's evolved from a simple agent into a major supernatural threat, one who will be constantly drawn to the boys he was tasked with hunting.
But this entire volume doesn't end on a moment of victory. It ends with Rand completely rejecting the path that's been laid out for him.
He's a channeler. He's the dragon reborn. And he is utterly terrified of the White Tower and their control.
He asks Lan if Moiraine is going to try and stop him from leaving.
And Lan's answer is just perfect.
Okay.
Says Rand can do as he will, or as the pattern weaves for him. It's not freedom. It's a kind of guided inevitability.
So Rand runs. He leaves the fortress, determined to go somewhere, anywhere to escape this fate.
Yeah.
And he remembers what Tom Maryland told him.
The old Gleeman's cynical advice now sounds like the absolute truth to him. The price of Aes Sedai help is always smaller than you can believe, always greater than you can imagine.
So Rand has faced the ultimate evil. He's realized he's the most dangerous man alive. And his first choice is to run away from the only people who can possibly help him understand it.
And that's the question we're left with, isn't it? What does this newly revealed dragon plan to do with all this raw, world-shattering power, now that he's alone, terrified, and on the run?
The world thinks the dragon has returned, but he's just vanished. He's fled into anonymity with his fear and his power. The stage is perfectly set for a world-spanning pursuit where Rand is going to have to face his destiny entirely on his own terms.
And you have to consider, if Baalzamon really has been free all this time, constantly hunting the dragon's soul, then Rand running away from his destiny might just bring that destiny crashing down on him much, much faster than he imagines. What happens when a terrified, untrained, world-breaking channeler is loose in a world that desperately needs him, but also fears him completely? That's the road ahead.